This is a vintage Piko train pack set featuring a locomotive and two wagons. It was produced back in East Germany, so it was around about the 1980s, I believe, that this came out, although it might have actually been older wagons that were made in the 70s. This one has the part number 5072400, and you can see it's made in GDR. And over here you can see again that the number is 0724. This box is looking a little bit tatty around the edges, but it is quite old. I'm hoping the models inside will be okay. So let's get this open and we'll check out what we've got. In the box we have a leaflet which shows that this was for the EM17 and EM18 set. What's interesting on here is it has a purchase date of, I think that's 14th of April 1989. Inside there's some information about the locomotive, but it's all in German, so I don't know what it's saying. And on the back you can see the old address in Zwickau. And here we have the set, the locomotive and the two wagons. The loco was actually quite heavy when I took it out of the package in there. It feels quite robust, so let's have a look at that first and see what we've got. Well, it's quite a beefy looking loco, that's for sure, and very boxy too. I quite like this maroon colour with a cream stripe. The masking on that isn't absolutely perfect, but it's not too bad. But what is really good is the lettering and the Deutsche Reichsbahn on the side of the cab here. This diesel is obviously a class 110. If we look at this end of the loco, it does look as though we might have lights on this. Certainly the white ones, not the red ones, they're just dummy. But I do like the silver surrounds that we've got there. And the number is also very clearly printed there. And we have another silver surround on the top here, which looks as though it's illuminated again. The buffer beam is quite plain, but we do have a dummy coupling moulded into it there. And some jumper cables too, with the coupling hanging out the front here on this piece of metal. It does have a metal little hoop, but it's attached here by this little piece of metal to the bogie, which I'll come to in a moment. You can see the big screw there that's holding it on. Looking down the side, it does look as though this part here, the black area, is made of metal. There's no details on the top here, and we do have representation of doors all the way along the length of the bonnet on this locomotive and all the way down to the grills on this end. They're not super well defined, but they're not too bad. We've got a door in the middle with handrails as well, which aren't picked out. We do have a section of black printed on there. It's quite fuzzy though. The windows are kind of flush fit, but not really that good. There's no interior in here. I think what you're seeing there is just the motor. It's quite difficult to see. But I do like the overhangs over the windows and also over the front windows here too. We've got an indication of an exhaust coming up to the roof up here, and we have some details moulded into the top of the roof. And of course the screw to take this model apart. We'll do that in a moment. You can see there's rivet detail all the way along the bonnet top here. And if we look at the other end, we've got two grills up here as well. Not very convincing, and there is a big moulding mark all the way along the top of it. No difference at this end of the locomotive, but if you look at the black area, we do have some more white printing on the side of it. It's very small, but it's really good that it's there. We've also got this piece here, some pipework, which is an extra part being added on, as are these steps here. Although it does have a bit of the sprue still attached to those steps. The bogies aren't really that well defined, but you can see we have gear wheels on both axles and also on both bogies, so it's all-wheel drive and all-wheel pickup, which is really good. So let me just unscrew this and we'll have a look at what we've got inside this model. Well, it was a bit strange that the plastic roof just came off separately, but I guess it was holding the model together. The body shell has got two massive big weights inside it, but is otherwise made of black plastic, so obviously the maroon and the cream has been painted onto this. You can see that it does actually have lighting, and if we have a look at the chassis, you can see the bulbs at each end, and we have drive out to each axle here with these shafts and the motor in the middle. It doesn't look like a particularly big motor, and this chassis is quite light. I think it's just a piece of pressed steel actually, so there's not really that much detail down here. So that's why they've added on these extra parts. So I think it's probably simple but effective. Let me get this back together and we'll have a look at the wagons before giving it a shot. So the first of the two wagons is this grey cement wagon from the Deutsche Reichsbahn. And straight away you can see all the great detail on this. The steps coming up look really good. All the little handrails on the top as well. I think they're just pushed in to these holes here. This one actually moves a little bit, so it's no glue holding it in. And the tie downs on the top of the silos look really good as well. Those are extra pieces that have been put on too. We've even got things like these little discharge wheels on both ends of the wagon, and we've got some additional black painting on this part here, and what looks like little dials or something in the middle. There's a lot of printing on it, a lot of numbers and warnings, and it's even got these little white flashes on the corners. At each end there's a little brake platform which has got a checkerboard effect and more handrails, and there's even more printing underneath there. And at the other end you can see we have a brakeman's wheel as well, with these little handrails just on the corners. They're absolutely fantastic. And we've got steps coming down too at both ends of the wagon. The chassis's got some rivet detail, not super defined around the axle boxes and the springs, but it's not too bad. We've also got these little levers here. I guess that's for the brake gear, and they're picked out in white, and that's been done pretty good. And looking underneath, we've even got detail on the bottom of the silos as well. And the frame of the chassis has some brake gear which has been moulded in, which looks really good actually. The wheels are quite coarse, they've got big flanges on them, which was typical of the time, but they do revolve really well. And we have the typical Piko couplings with those little metal springs, which always, if they ping off, you'll never find them again. One of the things I really like about these wagons is that the buffers are kind of pliable. They're made of, I think it's maybe rubberized plastic or something like that, but they move around so they can take a few bashes without getting broken, which is a great thing to have. I'm not quite sure why model makers don't still make buffers like that, because that's really handy that they can move. So this is actually a really good looking wagon with a lot of nice detail and really good printing on it. I suppose it's let down a little bit by the kind of plastic moulding marks around the middle here, but it's not too bad, and I think it gets away with it. So I'm really happy with this wagon, but let's move on to the next one. So this is an interesting wagon. It's another Deutsche Reichsbahn one, but it has these little doors that open on the top. They actually operate. There's nothing to see inside there apart from the weight. It's got a metal weight there, but these three pairs of doors open, which is really quite cool. We've also got some great printing on the side of here. And even this black area, which has been masked off and painted, looks really good. Again, with the white flashes on the corner, we've got little handrails moulded in there too. There's a good amount of definition on the doors as well here. At this end, we've got some steps and an indication of handrails going up, which have been moulded in. And we have some more printing, which is really well done. Not much on the buffer beam, but we do have these buffers which are part of the main chassis. These ones don't move around, it's just the hard plastic of the chassis that these are made of. At the other end, we've got a brakeman's platform again, and this time we have a wood effect on the platform there. We have brake wheel here, and the buffers hanging at the front and some steps coming down. It's pretty much the same story on the chassis. We've got some springs and axle boxes there moulded, but they're not super defined, but not too bad at all. We've got brakes in line with the wheels, and we have these coarse wheels again, obviously. We also have this central bracing piece, which is an extra part. It's been added on, and we have brake gear moulded in there, as well as the grain on the planks, which looks really good. Same kind of couplings as we saw earlier as well. So this is actually another really good wagon, and I think out the pack the two wagons actually beat the Locomotive in terms of detail and finish. But I think we should maybe give the Locomotive a bit of a run on the track and just see whether it works or not. As is always the case, this is some Hornby third radius track, which I use all the time, and it's getting a bit old now as well. And talking of old, I'm using my H&M controller on 12 volts DC to give this some power. So let's switch it on and see what happens. So let's get the body shell off it again and let's see what we can do. Well, I've realised that the pickups on one of the bogies, one of them had actually come away from its mounting point on the side of the bogie there, and that was causing it to kind of wobble and make that tick-tick sound. So in order to be able to get these back on, I've actually had to take the entire model apart like this. So it's turned into quite a long job, so I'm going to have to try and get this back together. Well, finally I've managed to get this back together and the pickup is in the right place. That took absolutely ages. So now it's time to assemble the rest of the Locomotive back together. Well, that took absolutely ages to get back together. I actually had to split these two pieces of the chassis apart to get the bogie back in. Anyway, it's back in now, and I'll put the body on and we'll give it another go. Well, it runs, but not really that good, and what I thought was making that knocking sound with the pickups, I think is actually one of the gear shafts is a little bit bent, and that's what's causing it. And I don't know how that's happened, but at least it moves, and I guess the lights work. It's never going to be a great runner though, but it is quite an old model. But anyway, let's put this on the scales and we'll see how much it weighs. So this model comes in at 304 grams. So Piko's rendition here of the BR110 from the Deutsche Reichsbahn with two wagons, it's a bit of a mixed bag, I think. The Locomotive certainly looks beefy and it's quite heavy, but it runs terrible. I think it's just got such a small motor and the gear shafts aren't really that good, and it's all a bit plasticky and it's not really working that well. It's definitely indicative of its era, and it's never going to be a good runner today, and probably wasn't a good runner straight out the box either. However, by contrast, the two wagons I actually think are really good. The grey one has got a lot of interesting details and added extra parts onto it which make it look really good, and the printing's really good on it as well. The other brown wagon is also really good. It's got those interesting lift up panels on the top, and again it's got good printing and it looks very interesting as well. So the wagons really shine, but the Locomotive I think is a bit rubbish. But it is a product of its time, and I guess you have to forgive it because it isn't a brand new model by any sense of the word, and it still survives and it still actually runs and the lights work too. So, you know, you have to take that into consideration. It's taken me absolutely ages to try and get this locomotive working, and it's still not really running that great. But if you can accept things like that, then perhaps some of these cheaper models from the East German period might be of interest to you, but they're definitely not for everyone. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this model in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. I'll put the locomotive onto the turntable so you can see all the way around. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
So model train, model world, choo-choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds, choo-choo, model trains, tiny model worlds, choo-choo, model trains, tiny